Let's kick off. So, multiple streams of income, or MSI as is commonly known, MSI. That's obviously my standard disclaimer as always. I have that now on all my slides. Just to remind everyone that, I am not in any way, shape, or form a professional. I just talk from personal experience. So as usual, if you want professional advice, you seek that elsewhere. Okay, so this is a lovely quote to start with, excuse me, from the great man, Warren Buffett. It says, if you don't find a way to make money while you sleep, you will work until you die. And I'm sure none of us want that. So we don't want to keep working every day of our lives. You want to retire at some point. Although the word retire doesn't mean you just be sleeping at home doing nothing, but you hope you don't have to be working, doing a 9-to-5 till you die. You want to stop doing that and, get some independence in terms of your time, doing what you love, enjoying yourself. Obviously still being productive, but not being forced to do what you don't want to do. And, that's the whole aim of trying to create as many income streams as possible. But the key is that you want income streams that will be passive. Although we're going to touch on that too during this session, because you don't want to, most will say you don't want to buy yourself a job, because sometimes we get carried away. You start a business and you find out, that business you're doing and you're investing all your time in, you've actually created a job for yourself that can't function without you. So you need to be careful that's the key. You want, something giving you a passive income. That's the key, not you working for it, but the thing working for you. And that's what you're trying to do with multiple streams of income, is to find a way to make money while you sleep. So it doesn't require your presence. It doesn't require you doing all the work. Whether you're sleeping, you're on holiday, you're enjoying yourself, the money will be coming in. So that's what you want to do. Find a way to make money while you sleep, so you don't work until you die. So that's a nice way to start the session on multiple streams of income. For those coming in, just got a few people joining us. Like I said earlier, this is not a formal presentation. So if you have any questions during the presentation, feel free to send it through the chat box or raise your hand. Because like I said, this is not a formal presentation. We're just going to touch on some income streams, chat around it, ask questions. So it's a bit informal. So like I say, if you have any questions during the presentation, if you want to ask a question, go ahead and ask it. I'll answer questions and take comments during the presentation. Well, obviously, we'll still try and be orderly. So do raise your hand first and I'll unmute you to speak. I'll send your question through the chat box during the presentation. So there's no hard and fast rule when it comes to creating multiple streams of income. The key is just to create as many as you can. If you can create 1,000 different income streams, you go for it. There's no particular number. The key word there is multiple streams of income. So what you want to do is have more than one, but there's no limit. And the more you can create, the better. So if you can create 3, 5, if you can create 5, 10, 20, 50, 100, 200, you're just trying to create as many income streams as you can. So we'll start with the obvious one, which is real estate. Real estate, as we all know, is a very good way to create multiple streams of income in terms of either rental income or flipping the properties. So real estate is a very good source of income. In fact, that's the one. I think most of you know my personal story about my bankruptcy many years ago. but it was it was me delving into real estate that got me bankrupt. But you know, obviously when I shared my story with you, it was due to me not doing things right, not doing my due diligence, not checking the cash flow of what I was buying. So yeah, so obviously with any income stream, if you don't do your homework and do it right or do it well, then yeah, you can get into trouble. But real estate is a very good way to create an income, and it's something that I always believe in, and I will always be involved in it in one form or the other. So that's one income stream that you know, without a doubt, no one can ignore that real estate. But there are three, in terms of summarizing real estate investing, you can really summarize it into a few things, which is what we'll just quickly discuss. Like I said, if you have any questions as we go along, feel free to ask by raising your hand or sending your questions through the chat box. Now, this is a quote from Robert Allen. He says, "Don't wait to buy real estate. Buy real estate and wait." And if you want to get into real estate, it really boils down to what we call the 3 Fs. The 3 Fs. So real estate boils down to the 3 Fs. So what are the 3 Fs? So that's finding the right property, funding the property, and then farming it out. Those are the 3 Fs you need to master and understand in order to get involved in the real estate market. So you need to find the right property. And what finding the right property is that you need to make sure you're making money on day one. And that's the key to real estate. You need to make sure you're making money from day one. Not in 10 years' time, not in 2 years' time, not in 5 years' time. You need to make sure you're making money on day one. So that's what we mean by you need to find the right property. And the biggest thing is you need to not get emotional about the property. Well, in business in general, you shouldn't make emotional decisions, especially with real estate. Because obviously real estate is a physical structure, and sometimes you can get carried away with your emotions. You want to buy a property in a nice area, in a nice neighborhood, what they call that south-facing garden, all that crap. You have to always remember, when you're in real estate, especially real estate investing, you're investing in real estate. You're not planning to live there yourself. So yes, when you're buying your own property where you want to live for yourself and with your family, you can get emotional about it, about where you want to live, where you want your family to live. Yeah, fine. You can get emotional with that. But when you say, okay, I want to go into real estate investing as a business, you shouldn't care, you shouldn't get emotional about it. It's all down to the numbers. It's really down to the numbers. That's the bottom line. Is there good cash flow in that property? Are you getting it at below the market rate? Can you easily flip it? Can you easily sell it for a profit? Can you, if you're going to rent it out, will the rental income cover all your expenses with a profit? So that's really where finding it comes in. You need to find a property that you're making money on day one. And if you buy the wrong property, which is what I did, and I have the experience of doing that, if you buy the wrong property, you're going to be in big trouble. So you need to make sure you're making money on day one. As they say, cash flow is king, and that's very true with real estate. Cash flow is king. So you really, really need to do your homework in finding the right property to invest in. And the right property to invest in is a property that you're getting way below the current market value. You're getting a property that you can easily sell. You're getting a property that if you sell it, you're going to get a profit straight away. And if on day one, and you know that if you rent it out, your rental income is going to cover all your expenses with a profit. And now if you now find that right property, and that's why finding the right property is very important from the outset with real estate, because once you find the right property, it will actually be easy to fund it. It will be easy to fund the property. If you find the wrong property and it's not the right property, it's going to be difficult to fund it. But once you find the right property, you find the right, with all the figures correct and in detail, it'll be easy to fund it. And when you come to funding it, again, most people, when they think about funding, they think about, okay, how am I going to fund it myself? I think as an entrepreneur, you need to start thinking outside the box. You need to start having creative thinking. If you think narrow and you just think about yourself, yes, you find that opportunities will shrink. You begin to wonder, oh, I can't do this, I can't do that. But once you start thinking that outside the box, you start thinking beyond yourself. It's very easy to finance real estate projects. Obviously, you can start with yourself. So if you've got good credit, you've got access to credit, you can finance deals yourself, which is what I was doing when I was still practicing. Then yes, you can finance the property yourself. But if you can't, again, using myself as an example, because obviously being bankrupt like I was, is very difficult for you to get credit. But again, this is where other people's money come in. So, even if you can't finance it yourself, you can get other people to finance it for you. So this is where you have to remember that, having 100% ownership of zero is zero. 100% ownership of zero. If you own something outright that has zero value and zero amount of money in it, then there's nothing, you don't own anything. But if you have 5% of a multi-million-dollar project, that's good. So that's where you have to think. So that's the key to financing things. Is thinking that, okay, if I can't do it, who can get the finance for me? Number one, who has money? So you can find people who have money that can finance it, or people who have access to finance, which is what I actually do now, because obviously I can't finance things myself because of my bankruptcy and my credit history. But you find that, and again, everything I'm talking to you about is from experience. So it's not from a textbook. These are things I've actually done myself. I've done them, and I'm still doing them, because it all boils down to getting the right deal. Once you get the right deal, it's very easy to fund it, and it's very easy to then either rent the property out or sell it for a profit. But so this first stage is crucial in real estate. This is where where you're really going to make your money, is by finding this property. I think most of you know about my colleague in the States. I think I got him to give a seminar on the platform a while ago, Jack Groupie. For those who were not here then or missed it, as usual, it's on the platform. So if you get onto the platform, if you go to the featured section, so under the featured section on the timeline, you can just click on see more. And there's this real estate investment opportunities in the USA. So this for USA. But there are opportunities everywhere. There are real estate opportunities in Rwanda, in UK, in Nigeria. It's just, like I said, is you finding the right deal first. But if you're interested in real estate investment in the USA, you can watch this session we did that I got Jack to speak to the guys on the platform. Gosh, it's a long time ago, 7 months ago. But you can watch it. This is on there if you're interested in real estate investing in the US. But like I said, there are opportunities everywhere. But the key is that you need to know how to find a good property. And like I said, finding it will require you to be making money on day one. Okay. Any questions on real estate before we move on from real estate? Like I said, this is an informal session. I'm not giving a detailed talk on all the income streams, just to begin to open people's minds and begin to get you to think outside the box or differently and look at opportunities out there. Any questions on real estate before we move on? Okay, we're all good. Obviously, if you have questions later, you feel free to.
Hi, yes, Dr. Ravi.
Hello, Marlon.
How are you?
Fine, thank you.
Wonderful. Yes, so I recently purchased my first investment property, and just you mentioned partnership and that being a key component in the funding part of it. Could you share, just based on your experience, like what was some of those partnership that you've engaged in and how it came about, just the process?
There isn't a process really. In fact, that's going to be, actually, I'm going to jump to it. There's a quote I have at the end of this presentation, but I'll bring the quote up now because this is a quote. You can see that from Warren Buffett. Marlon?
Sorry, yes, I can see it.
Yeah, so you see what he says, you can't make a good deal with a bad person. Mm-hmm. So I think it really boils down to that. But let me give you my own personal experience, because obviously it then goes down to relationships. I think I personally, I am not, again, I'm just talking from my own personal point of view. Okay. I'm not motivated by money, and I'm not driven by money. I'm more driven by relationships, and I'm driven by enhancing people's lives and all that. So, everything works hand in hand. So obviously, I'm 52 years old now, so I've been around a bit. So, people from growing up, people from primary school, from secondary school, from university, and obviously I've always been a relationship kind of person. So along the way, you know people you can trust, people you have good relationships with. And of course, along the way, obviously when I started working as a doctor, you also meet people. So along the way, you meet people and you're developing relationships. So along that way, when I have a deal, or when I have a business deal, I already know who to go to, who to partner with. Okay. So that's why I wouldn't say it's a process per se, but it's just, I've had deals before where I've terminated the deal prematurely because I just didn't get along with the person. Okay. So to me, it's not the money. I remember this is probably about 7-8 years ago. I've always wanted to be in the coffee business, and I've been dying to get. This is actually why I'm happy now. I finally started the coffee farm this year in Rwanda. But at the time, we had an American partner, and we were about to actually get the company. We actually registered the company. We'd actually gone to some coffee conventions, and we're going to actually start the business. Right. But I just couldn't get on with the guy. He just rubbed me up the wrong way. And I just said, let's forget this. And we just dissolved the whole thing. So that's why I like this quote. You can't make a good deal with a bad person. Okay. So I think my warning is just, bottom line is, don't just go blindly and just take money from anybody just because you're desperate to get the deal done. It's trying to find the right person you want to work with and deal with. Otherwise, it could really turn out to be, you start fighting over money. It becomes a nightmare. So,
makes perfect sense.
Yeah, because when it comes to money, money really exposes people's true characters.
That's true.
And, you know, you need to be very careful who you do the deal with. So obviously, so that's the bottom line is first try and find people who you think, or you have a good idea of their character and who they are. And then from then on, it's just a question of what do they bring to the table? What are you bringing to the table? So let me put it this way. Let me actually bring a whiteboard. That might help. So let's assume this is a property. Yep.
Right.
Okay. Let's assume this property is worth.
Good drawing skills.
Sorry?
Good drawing skills.
What? Oh, good drawing skills. Thanks. Okay, let's assume this property is worth £100,000 now. Yeah.
Okay.
This is the true market value now.
Mm-hmm.
True market value, just as TMV. True market value is 100,000. Okay. Now, let's just assume now you can negotiate the price down to $70,000. Pounds.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So you're already making £30,000 from day one. Isn't that right?
Right. That's correct.
Yeah. Okay. So this is what you need to do about finding it. Now, if you tell any reasonable person with money that, look, you're going to get a £30,000 profit from day one, it's not going to be difficult to find somebody to want to invest in that.
Right.
Which is what I found in my own personal experience, because most of the properties I used to buy when I was in the UK, I used to buy them for 25, 30%, 40% below the market value.
Oh, really? Okay.
Well, they say you look for what you call don't wanters. You want people who don't want
fixer-uppers.
No, don't wanters.
Don't wanters. Okay.
Don't wanters are people who don't want their properties anymore, and they're willing to give it to you.
Okay.
They're willing to sell it at any price.
Okay.
Actually, when I was going through my bankruptcy, I was a don't wanter myself. So I've been on both sides.
Okay.
So when you get up, there are unique ways of finding out who these don't wanters are. Right? They're very, very crafty ways of how you can find people who don't want their properties anymore and they're willing to sell it to you at any price.
What are some of those ways? Would you be able to share that?
Yeah. I mean, number one, which is not nice, is divorce proceedings. People are going through a divorce and it's a messy divorce, and they're divvying up the assets. They just want to get rid of it and just be done with each other. So divorce is one. Two is probate. You know what probate is?
Can you explain, please?
Probate, again, this is where people don't realize when you don't sort out your estate well. So if you die and you die without a will, you die without sorting out your estate.
Okay, got you.
Then the government will step in. They will employ a probate officer to assess your estate, make sure you don't owe any money, make sure you're not in debt. But while they're doing all that, which they do slowly, they'll be deducting their fees from your estate value.
Right. Okay.
So you find that sometimes the kids
their stream of income, right?
Yeah. And so sometimes you find the children of the deceased, they just want to get rid of the assets quickly, pay off the probate officers, and at least get some money out before they take all the money themselves.
Okay.
And sometimes if you go to courts, you can find out these details. You go to the court steps. So the court is a very good place to find it out. So if you go, but again, that's a bit difficult, if you have time to be going to the court, because all these things are lodged in the courts. So you want to see the latest divorce proceedings, probate proceedings. The other way you can do it, especially if—
Sorry, Dr. Remy.
Yes.
Someone wrote in the chat, are there any recommended database?
No, they're not.
In regards to the,
No, unfortunately not. This is why I'm telling you this, because once you understand where to find these things, because Yeah, there isn't a list saying don't want us. No, there isn't a database saying these are the people that don't want these properties.
Okay, okay.
You need to find out who are these people and know where to find them. So it's the people going through a divorce, and of course, divorce settlements, you find them in court, probate you find in court. Then of course, you find that estate agents are a good source.
Okay.
Estate agents are a good source, especially if you're based in the UK, USA, and America. Not sure about Nigeria, but yeah, if you're based in the Western world, the estate agents are very good. But you also need to be crafty with the estate agent, because when you approach the estate agent, you need to let them know. Because okay, let me put it this way: when estate agents get a client on board, when people want to sell their properties and they go to the estate agent, the estate agent will be able to, they will get all these details for you. No, not for you, but from the client.
Right.
So as when they're getting the properties, they're finding out from the client, you know, why are you selling your property? What's the situation? What's the price? So they will get all those details. So they sort of get this for you, but obviously they're not going to tell you, because the estate agent wants his commission.
Okay.
And they want to sell the property for as much as they want, as much as possible, so that they get higher commissions. So it's how you have that conversation with the estate agent.
I see.
So the conversation, in fact, funny enough, when I was still based in the UK, I used to take people with me to go and talk to estate agents, just to see how I talk to them. Because you have to tell them that, look, you're not buying. I'll tell them right from the start that I'm a property investor, number one. Number two, I am not buying property at the value. That look, if you bring any property to me, I am going to offer them a price way below their asking value. So if you don't want to waste your time and waste the owner's time, do not give me properties where they're not going to listen to an offer, a negotiation. So once they know that about you straight away, then they're not going to hand you properties whereby, you know, the owner himself is looking for as much money as they want. Okay.
So question, just to retrieve this information from them, was there or is there still like a fee that you have to give to them to get this information?
No. Like I said, I'm just telling you that what they do. So they will, obviously, when they get a client on board who wants to sell the property, they will just get all the details about the client. So, but they're not going to give you that information. They're not going to give. Yeah. I'm just trying to show you a sneaky way to get that information from them.
Got you.
Is by letting them know, because if you don't talk to them like that, you just go to an estate agent that says and tell the estate agent, oh, I want to buy a property in this area.
Okay.
The first thing they will do is give you the ones that are expensive, the ones they can get a good price from, and that's it. So I'm trying to, but the way you circumvent that is to tell them, number one, who you are and what you're doing. And then the other one I used to do to them too, after telling them that, the first thing, so that they don't send me silly properties that the owners won't listen to a deal. And then the other thing is I try and visit the properties on my own without the estate agent. And do you know how you can visit the property without the estate agent?
No, how can you?
Because usually they want to go with you so that you don't mess up their commission and you don't mess up the value of the house. So the way you can avoid them going with you, I always tell them that, look, I'm usually busy during the day. I can only view properties at night. And they can't be bothered to come at night. So they tell the owner to meet me there.
And that's it, game is over, right?
Exactly. But the good thing is that when I'm now there, and what I'm trying to show you now is how you can get this information.
Got you.
Because like I said, unfortunately, there isn't a database and all that. No. You have to, but this is, the hard work is going to the courts and going to the court steps and get sifted through the record. But the easy way is just to get, especially in the Western world, the estate agent can do that work for you. Because by the time, and I've done this myself so many times in the UK, because by the time they give me property, since they already know that I've told them I want properties that the owner is willing to listen to an offer, then the likelihood is that they'll be passing to me don't want us properties. They don't want us. Okay. Obviously, they won't tell me that, but I've put in their head to pass me properties where they're going to listen to an offer.
Okay.
But the next thing now is I want to now assess the owner of the house myself.
Right.
So I'll tell them I'm going at night, and I always used to go in the evening, and then I meet the owner there, which is always the case because estate agents do not want to, they want to go home after the office is closed. Anyway, but this is the key. When you now get to the person's house, you two have to be, you're going there, again, this is why I say you have to take away emotion. You're going there for a business transaction. So you need to be focused on what you're asking. You have to ask key questions. Obviously, they don't need to know why you're asking those questions. You have to be crafty about it. So usually what I would tell them is that I'll walk in the house. Oh, hello, my name is, so and so. How are you doing? Thanks for meeting me here. And then the guy will be showing me around the house. I'm so, oh, this is a lovely house. Oh, this is very nice. Oh, how long have you been living here? Now, you can see I've inserted a very important question in how long have you been living here? Because if he tells me, oh, I've just been here for a year, then he's not going to listen to a deal. That means the value can't have gone up a lot in that year.
Okay, right.
If he tells me I've been living here for 20 years, then you know that there's a good...
You have some equity in that home.
Which is negotiable. We can now negotiate. So that's giving you a point. But you're not being mechanical about this. You just say, okay, oh, it's a nice house. How long have you been here? Oh, this is such a nice house. Nice. Why would you want to leave this place? Now I'm trying to now find out why he's selling.
Okay.
Now, if he now says,
some psychology there.
Exactly. If he now tells me, oh, I want to buy a bigger place, he needs all his equity. If he tells you it's downsizing, then you know, okay, there's some room to play. If he tells you, okay, in fact, there's one that actually told me he was going through a divorce. That's why he's selling it and wants to get rid of it. One told me that because it was her mother's place and she's died and she lives in Australia. She lives in Australia. She wants to get rid of it.
Okay.
But this is how you get those answers you need in questioning them, but not in an obvious way.
Of course, okay.
So anyway, those are just some tips anyway.
And very helpful. Thank you kindly.
Well, the last thing to actually talking about a list, Belinda, and also Marlene, if you go back to Jack, so people like Jack, they have that kind of list, but it's not accessible to the public.
Okay.
So there's what we call discounted mortgage. You have it in the UK too. It's in the UK and in the USA. Will
it be in Canada as well?
I'm sure to be in Canada. It's everywhere. Now with discounted mortgages, what happens is that, okay, let me give you the example. So again, let me bring up the whiteboard. Whiteboard is very good for discounted mortgages because Jack deals with them. If I was through Jack, I found out about discounted mortgages and I was able to take advantage of that in the US and the UK too. But I'm sure it's in the US and in the UK, in Canada, sorry. So, okay, this is a bank. So let's just say this is a guy who has bought his house. He's bought his house. The house, let's say, is worth 100,000 again, so that my maths is simple. So he goes to the bank to take out the mortgage. Let's assume the bank gave him 90,000 for the mortgage. Yep.
Okay.
So the bank gave him 90,000, then he put 10,000 and, he now owns the house. Well, obviously the bank really owns the house because the bank has put in the 90,000 and the house is now worth 100,000. Okay. So this guy now loses his job. He has no money. He can't keep up the mortgage payments. So, the bank now has to repossess this house. Isn't that right?
Correct.
So they repossess it. So it's now repossessed. So the bank now wants to get their 90,000 back. Okay. So in this process here, when now they repossessed it, the bank is not in the property business. They're in the banking business, not the property business. This repossessed property is a bad loan that is on their books. And the more bad loans they have on their books, the less they can lend out and make more money. Because, I mean, I'm not going to go into that, but basically banks make 1,000% profit on lending out money. So they make a huge profit from lending out money. They make 1,000. That's what we call fractional lending, which, you know, that's another whole topic. Anyway, that's why banks are making a lot of money. They're literally printing money. But by law, they can only lend out a certain percentage of their capital. And you know, bad loans, you know, the more bad loans you have, the less you can lend out. So they are very keen to get bad loans off their books as soon as possible. They are also insured for this bad loans. They have insurance. But they cannot claim on insurance unless they have been seen to at least try to dispose of this property.
Right.
But you can see technically they can sell it at 90,000, just get their money. And, you know, if somebody buys it at 90,000, they still have some profit in there. But because they haven't got time to be messing around, they come to people like my friend Jack. And again, it's not, they don't put it in a public directory or a database. You need to have a personal relationship with the bank. So you need to meet people like Jack who have relationships with this big banks in Canada, UK, and America, because they will come to people like Jack and say, and so it's people like Jack that have this list. They'll say, this is a list of our bad loans. Now, this property, they could actually offer it to Jack for $20,000.
Really?
Yeah. That's why they're called discounted mortgages. So you can now just buy it off the bank, pay the bank $20,000, and you now own the mortgage of this property. So you got a £100,000 house for $20,000.
$20,000.
And then they can then claim on insurance and get this off their books.
Okay.
But yeah, but you need to know people like Jack. Again, that one, there isn't a database out there.
Okay.
The database will be with people like Jack.
Right, right. This is good information, Dr. Remy. Thank you so much.
Pleasure. Okay, let's get back. Any more questions on real estate? Let's get back to the presentation. And like I said, if you have any questions along the way, go ahead and ask.
Hey, Doc.
Hello.
Hey, quick one. I suppose the question I would just want to say, how do you find people like Jack?
I
suppose that's the $1 million question that I just want to ask me.
It is a $1 million question, but I think, but it's not $1 million. Actually, it still falls into play with what I told Marlene earlier, is that I think, in my own personal opinion, to be a good entrepreneur, you need to also be able to be establishing relationships with people and networking. So yes, to meet people like Jack, you can't meet them just doing the same thing every day, being in the same circles. You need to get out there. And of course, you're not going to meet people like Jack overnight. But I think, yes, I think it actually goes back to wealth psychology. Because once you now start deciding you want to be an entrepreneur, and you now, let's stick with real estate. So for example, now, if you say, okay, I want to take real estate seriously, you maybe want to now start attending real estate conventions, real estate seminars, reading about stuff, you know, going to talk to developers, going to talk to real estate developers, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Talking to people who are in the industry, and along the way, you will meet people. That's how you meet people along the way, which is what
Okay.
has happened to me, because uh, like I said, you first have to have that mindset. Because my own mindset, again, like I said, is I like meeting people, I like developing relationship with people, and that's more important to me than the money and the business. So it doesn't cloud. When I meet people, I'm not meeting you because I want to make money with you or make money off you or make money. You know what I mean? So I meet you and I genuinely want to know about you. I genuinely want to, you know, develop a relationship with you. And if we turn out to be business partners, that's just a side effect and just a bonus. And of course, that's what I'm saying that is that people will know. Because yeah, if you meet me for the first time, all you're talking to me about is money, I will know you're just a money-minded person, and I will not going to develop a relationship with you. So that's why I say you have to be careful about the mentality and your mindset. Because everybody in the world everybody has an innate desire to relate to people and develop relationships with people. But at the same time, people are wary about funny people and people who are going to take advantage of them. So when you meet somebody and you know it's not your natural instinct to just want to develop a relationship without the money element, and all you just do, you can imagine someone meeting you for the first time, Elizabeth, and say, "Hello, Elizabeth, how are you? Okay, how can I make money off you?" I mean, that's going to put you off.
Oh yeah.
You know, so you just have to. That's the mentality you have to have. Is so. If I the way, let me actually tell you how I met Jack, because, and actually, funny enough, if you watch that video, or actually talked about it briefly, how I met Jack in the video on this when I got him to come and speak. I talked about how I met him I think in 2007. I met him in 2007 in New York. I think I discussed it briefly when I was introducing him to people at this session. But that's how, because like I said, I qualified from medical school in Nigeria in 1991, and I started working in UK as a doctor in 1993. And then from 1994, I was heavily involved in the real estate market, buying properties. So obviously, just like I said, while I got involved in real estate in the UK in 1994, I got to know estate agents, I got to know brokers, I got to know lawyers. And of course, along the way, people introduced me to other property investors, and I got to meet other property investors. And you meet this, you meet that, and of course, I started getting involved in investing in the USA too. So I started to meet people in the US. I initially went to Florida. Actually, went to Florida on holiday, and while I was on holiday in the holiday home we rented, I liked it, and I was asking who owned it, and I said, how can I buy one? And I met the guy who built the house. He introduced me to some property developers in Florida, and I met some in Florida, and I started thinking, and I said, by then I had friends in the real estate investment world, and they said, okay. I said, okay. They now told me I was thinking about buying multi-units in the US. I said, oh, they know one guy in America, in New York, Jack. I should go and meet Jack. He does multi-units, and that's how I was introduced to Jack. Went to New York, I met him, and because I was already into the financial markets then, and Jack came from Wall Street and hedge funds, so we started talking about the financial markets, about life, and then we became friends and kept in touch. So it's just about developing relationships. And like I said earlier, you don't make good deals with bad people. And the reason why, my relationship with Jack has lasted this long and all the people I know now is because they're good people. The ones, like I gave the example of the other American I go into business with for the coffee, and just had to dissolve it within a couple of months. So usually if I don't get along with you, I don't feel you're a good person, that's it. I just end the relationship there. But yes, obviously, like I said, I'm 52 now, but that's the attitude I've always had. I think mine has always been relationship first. So now, because of that, that's why I know people like Jack, and I have contacts here and there. In fact, I think I was sharing this actually with people during the live trading session. I said live trading session during the course, because we just finished the 5 weeks course. We just finished last week. Actually, we just finished on Saturday. So talking about something similar to this. So for example, this is another business I have, which is DKB Partners. We're a wealth management team. So again, you can see these are my partners, Ian and Steve, who I've known for a very long time. And again, we're more friends than business partners. Most of the people I do business with, they're more my friends and business partners. To the point that we don't even have any signed agreement with us. So you can see Ian, he has worked in the financial markets for over 30 years, mostly in Germany, Denmark, Portugal, France, and then Steven, he used to be a trader with JP Morgan. So like I said, I have acquired a lot of people like this along the way. And, for different businesses, you have different people that I know and I work with. But it's all about developing relationships. But I think that's the mistake people make, is that, unfortunately, let's be frank, you can't just wake up tomorrow and then meet these people and become very good friends with them. That's just not possible. You need to, you just have to, number one, you have to have the right mindset. And number two, you have to start to go out there, because these people aren't going to come and to meet you in your house. So you need to start, networking, going to conference. COVID has put all that on hold now. But you need to get out there. You need to get out there. But get out there with purpose.
Okay. Funny enough, I was saying to somebody today, I'm so antisocial. I think I need to change that now.
You can be, because actually I am an introvert. I'm an introvert. If you meet me for the first time in a crowded place, you will not notice I'm there. I'll just be in one corner, quiet. So I am an introvert. I'm not one you see in parties. I don't like to, in fact, I hate going to parties. I just like being by myself. But like I said, because I'm not intentionally going out to party and meet people, because like I said, I met these people while I was doing what I was passionate about.
Okay.
So I was into real estate heavily, like I said, from 1994. So obviously, as I was going for real estate seminars, real estate conventions, going for, speaking to brokers and all that, you get to meet these people along the way. And of course, when I meet them, I would engage with them one-on-one, because obviously you want to learn, you want to find out information from them. And then obviously, because people see I'm trying to be careful. I don't like talking about myself. But people, let me just say, when people meet me, they know I'm not a crook. Let me just put it that way.
They see how genuine you are, basically.
And so they're quite happy to introduce me to people.
Okay.
And like I said, one thing leads to another. That's why I say I can't really say there's a formula. It's just that that's just been my attitude. Number one, I have an attitude to learn. I'm interested in people and I like developing relationships. So it just happens naturally that, so for example, I don't know anybody in the events management business because I don't not into events management. I don't know anybody in the restaurant business because I'm not into that. So I don't go, that's what I'm saying, I'm an introvert. So I won't go out of my way just to be meeting random people around the place. But when it comes to the financial markets, which I'm passionate about, and when it comes to the real estate market, in fact, okay, let me actually bring you up to date. This is actually now a recent example of what I mean now. Okay, now I started this business in December with my brother. It's the coffee farming and goat farming in Rwanda, Kabajuru Farms. So that's myself, my brother, and Alex. If you notice, Alex, again, is in this business too. Anyway, so now I decided I'm going to now, because I'm now based in Rwanda, and obviously the COVID slowed things down a bit, but we finally bought the land in December, 54 hectares of land. And we're going through the process now, clearing the land and buying the goats and doing the coffee and planting. And anyway, but because now I'm now very interested in agribusiness, I now do a lot of reading about agribusiness. I've been meeting agribusiness companies, and you can, even just from December till now, I've been introduced to different people in the agribusiness. I've been meeting different people. I've been developing relationships, and this is just from December, because I have an interest in this field now. You understand what I mean, Elizabeth?
Yes, yes, I do.
Yeah. So yeah, you might have to come out of your shell like me. So I can't say I want to succeed in this agribusiness now and just stay at home and not talk to anybody. I will make mistakes.
Okay, thank you. That was very helpful. Thank you.
You're looking for a magic pill. A magic word, sorry.
I thought that was a telephone number to just dial. Oh, thank you. That was very helpful.
Okay, pleasure. Pleasure. Temitope, how can I find Jack? Like I say, if you watch this, if you go onto the website, the platform, sorry, and like I say, if you watch, I think his contact details are there. So he's happy for you to contact him. Yeah, so you watch that, you can find Jack's contact details. But obviously, if you're interested in real estate investment in the USA, obviously Jack has nothing to do with Canada, UK, or any other country. Jack just does USA only. Okay. Belinda, how do we find people like Jack in the UK? I think I've answered that question. It's relationships. Is investing in property in USA complicated? No, it's not complicated. It's actually straightforward. I actually I bought 2 properties in Florida while I was, before my bankruptcy, I owned 2 properties in Florida. So I've gone through the whole process of buying properties in the USA. It's not complicated, but it's still going back to what we said about the 3 Fs: finding it, farming it, funding it. Because even those 2 properties I bought in the US, in Florida, they got repossessed because I didn't buy them right. So I learned a lot from my experience there. But yes, in terms of the process of buying properties in the US, it's straightforward. And like I said, I bought 2 in Florida, and no problem. It's quite straightforward. Okay. Right, let's carry on. So next income stream is Info-Preneuring. Info-Preneuring is just basically selling information. That's really what it is. It's just you selling information. So it's you turning your expertise, your experience, your passion, your hobby, or your favorite pastime into a lifetime stream of cash flow. So that's, and again, funny enough, that's one of the top selling or top income producing professions in the world now is Info-Preneuring, because, you know, you can just get so many income streams from what you've experienced, what your expertise is, what your passion is. So for example, if you're very good at coding, you could then obviously write a book about coding, do workshops and seminars about coding. Experience, for example, if you were a drug addict and you were able to kick the habit and stay clean and positive and turn your life around, or an alcoholic, then people will want to, hear your story and learn from your experience. And again, same thing too, you can publish books, workshops, all that. And then your passion too, so you have a passion about something, or hobby, or favorite pastime, all these things you can, turn into a lifetime stream of income from, hardcover books, ebooks, audiobooks, like say workshops, seminars, talks, all that, just based on your experience and expertise and all that. But obviously, so anyone can make millions selling information. but of course, it has to be an interesting story or idea. So, you know, it's just not anything. If it's something that is boring. So for example, if your whole life history is just, I went to school, I didn't get into trouble, didn't do anything, you know, did my 9-to-5 job, you know, just went through the process, lived, got married, had your normal marital problems, and, you know, that's it. You know, there's nothing there for anyone to learn. So it has to be an interesting story or an interesting idea. That's obviously the number one thing. It's something that people will be interested in. I gave you some few examples, you know, in terms of experience. Because obviously, people are trying to lose weight. People are trying to kick addiction habits. You know, all this sort of thing. People are, you know, trying to regain self-esteem. You know, whatever. You know, I mean, we all know what most people are looking for and struggling with life. And if they can find someone who's been through that struggle and overcome, you know, it's how did you do it? So it's, yeah, an interesting story or an idea. And of course, it has to be an expertise that people want. So, you know, if you say you're an expert at opening beer bottles, that is not an expertise people want. People can open their own beer bottles. And obviously, lastly, you have to have a powerful marketing plan. Because even if you have the best information in the world to share to the world and nobody knows about it, then how are they going to pay for it? So you have to have a powerful marketing plan. So that's what I tried to do with publishing a book, my trading and invest. Actually, this is the third edition, actually. I first published one when I was based in the UK. That was the first one I did. And then I revised that. And then when I moved to Nigeria, I did this one sort of for the Nigerian market. I actually launched this book at the Nigerian Stock Exchange as part of the powerful marketing plan. Because you write a book about trading and investing, where's the best place to launch it in Nigeria? Why not the Nigerian Stock Exchange? So I had to get contacts in there so I could launch it at the Nigerian Stock Exchange. And this is a book I was a co-author for in the US. Again, part of my networking and meeting people, I met a group of people who introduced me to this book selling series and made me a co-author, Finding Life's Passion, which is the best-selling book series in the US. In fact, some of these things are Info-Preneuring I learned from them. You have, you know, Americans and marketing, they're very good at marketing. And again, like I said, I'm an introvert, so I'm not very good at talking about myself and marketing myself, but they're very good at that. And usually when it comes to things like that, I tend to contract it off to somebody else to do, because I can't, again, you have to know your strengths. Again, it goes back to, like I said, in real estate, you don't have to do everything yourself. So if you're weak in certain things, you get a partner who is strong in that. I have very good partners who are very good at marketing, who are extroverts. They have no qualms about talking things up and selling things hard, which I can never do. But I partner with people who can do that because I can do that. It's a question here. Please share details of good publishers that don't take too much commission. Actually, this book was self-published. I published this myself. So I didn't go with any of these big publishers. I published this myself. And of course, this one was published by, you can see the group of authors. So it was published by the guys in America. I didn't sort out that publishing. But the one I did myself, which was this, I self-published. And that's a good thing about today now, you can self-publish. In fact, the one I used in the UK was Author House Publishing. Obviously in Nigeria, I used a friend of mine in Nigeria who has a publishing house. But in the UK, when I wrote the book in the UK, it was Author House Publishers. I used Author House. Yeah, there you go, Author House Publishing. So you can self-publish. I mean, the reason why they commit, if you go to some of these good publishers, the reason why they take a lot of commission is because they also help you with the marketing. So they also help you with the marketing. That's why they take a lot of commission, because they're not just publishing your book. They will help you get your book into the bookstores. They will help you get the name out there. They will help you do all that stuff. And of course, it's not free. They're going to charge you for that. So there are pros and cons. So for example, now, if you publish your book with Author House, you have to do everything yourself. If you want your book to be in the bookstore, you have to go and approach the bookstore yourself. You have to convince the bookstore yourself to put your book in the house. Even the bookstore, if they agree to put your book in their bookstore, they too will take a commission from the sales from your book. So you can't escape that. And then, of course, you can obviously put it on Amazon, put it online. You can create your own blogs and do that. So yeah, you can get away when it comes to publishing and marketing. Yes, there's some money that you have to spend. But like I say, yes, if you want to do it yourself, you can do it Author House. In Nigeria, make way. Can't remember what his Make Way Publishing, I think. Publishing. This is publishing. This is there you go. Make Way Publishing. So but this one is owned by my friend. So I mean, I still have to pay him, but not the full price. So that's the one I did in Nigeria, Make Way Publishing. But this is one in the UK, Author House. If you want to self-publish, publish your own book yourself, and you don't have to pay much for this. Okay, so let's get back. So that's Info-Preneuring. And then, of course, we have internet marketing. Internet marketing is another way you can create different streams of income. Again, it's just like Info-Preneuring too. You can turn the power of the World Wide Web into a lifetime stream of cash. Obviously, this one is very good for people who are young and hot and able to utilize the full power of social media and the internet, but it takes a lot of content and being there and driving traffic. But anyone can do it. That's a good thing about the internet these days, because obviously most of the social media, if not, well, all of them are free. YouTube, TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, they're all free. But you need to be able to drive content. And of course, we know people who've made millions just from pushing content on social media. But you need to have to be push a lot of creative, interesting content on there. And then you can now start making money from advertising and endorsements. That's why you find a lot of YouTube millionaires because they're very good at harnessing that power. So anyone can do that. But again, all you need to know how to create social media accounts, create website, blogs, and of course, how to drive traffic to these sites and social media pages. And content, obviously, content is huge. Content creation is the key. So again, just like Info-Preneuring or selling information, if it's boring, your topic is boring, it's not interesting, then nobody will see it. And just like, again, Info-Preneuring, where you have to have a powerful marketing plan, because you have to be able to let people know what you're selling. It's the same thing with social media. Although this one, you have to know how to drive traffic to your sites, because once you have 1 million followers, by the time you have 1 million followers, people will be coming to you to pay you money to advertise on their site. In fact, that reminds me of Linda Ikeji in Nigeria. Linda Ikeji is a millionaire just from our website in Nigeria. Linda Ikeji, I don't know if you guys know her, but Linda Ikeji is a Nigerian blogger. She made millions just from her blog. And that's her blog. She is very, very popular in Nigeria. People, in fact, sorry. What am I doing? Sorry, okay. Yeah, so she's very popular in Nigeria. Linda Ikeji. I'll just post her blog there for those who don't know. Everyone in Nigeria knows her. She created this blog many years ago to the point she's so popular because obviously she created a lot of buzz, marketing. Virtually everybody in Nigeria knows about her site and uses it to the point where some companies in Nigeria, corporate bodies, block her site in their offices because people are virtually addicted to her site, checking up on gossip and information on her site. But because it's so popular, you can see here UBA is advertising here, GT Bank. You can see each UBA, she could probably charge you 10 million naira just to have your site on there on a daily basis. So on a daily basis, all these adverts you see on her site, she's generating millions on a daily basis. Even I had to, I think it was a time I did an advert. Let me just see if I can find it. I placed an ad when I was still in Nigeria and marketing our business in Nigeria there. I had to pay her money. I could only afford to pay her for 1 day. So I think we were on her website, on her blog for 1 day, and we got a lot of traffic. So she's making a lot of money from driving traffic to her site. So she's a very good example of how you can make a lot of money from internet marketing if you do it well. So that was the company I had in Nigeria then, DKB Markets, when we had an online trading broker. So I had to pay her to post that on our site. Actually, that's interesting. That's our office in London. So that's myself, that's Ian, that's Steve. That's the office we have in London. So we're marketing about our seminars on our platform on Linda's site. So like I said, once people are aware, like I said, once you have huge traffic to your site, you can really generate a lot of money passively, because this is Linda just making all this money while she sleeps. But like I said, number one, you need to have good content, and then you need to be able to let people know you're there and drive traffic to your site. If you only have 10 followers, nobody's going to pay you if you only have 10 followers on your social media page or your blog. Okay. And of course, you all know about the financial markets. So all of you have been on the course. So financial market obviously is another way to create another stream of income from trading. And as we know from trading, the 3 M's, mind, money management, and method. Investing, we know it's about filtering what to buy, when to sell. So again, with trading, there are so many markets you can trade to give you different streams of income. Same with investing, you can make money from ETFs, from index funds, from different sectors, from different countries, from different companies. So financial markets are also another good way to create income. So that's long-term investing. Well, we know all this about long-term investing, so I'll just skip through all this. So this is a very nice quote about importance of multiple streams of income and diversifying your streams of income. So like it says, invest what you have in several different things. You don't know what bad things might happen on that. So another good reason why you want to have multiple streams of income and diversify your investments. So we'll sort of round up with this money tree formula. This money tree formula is a very good formula to think about when you're creating a business, because like I say, you don't want to buy yourself a job. The key is you want to make money in your sleep. Okay? You don't want to be, working 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and then you really don't have a business. You don't have you're still working hard. You want something that will give you passive income, money while you sleep. And to help you remember or sort of keep you on the right track, about making money while you sleep is to remember, is to think about this money tree formula. So you don't create streams of income that, you know, can't exist without you. So what's the money tree formula? This was devised by Robert Allen. It was actually one of my mentors in America when I went to learn some of these things from some guys in America. So the money tree formula just actually follows in the mnemonic of money tree, MONEYTREE. That's the money tree. So that's actually the mnemonic money tree formula. So it helps in determining whether a business will be viable and generate you residual income. That's the key. So this money tree formula will help you determine whether the business you want to do is, number one, it's going to be viable in terms of generate you multiple streams of income, and also, most importantly, residual passive income. So M starts for, you're looking for businesses that can generate you multiple streams of income. Okay. So again, you know, that's the good thing about real estate. You know, you can get income from rental and obviously from flipping it. And of course, if you go into it seriously, you know, which is what I was doing there, because at the time I had like, you know, 30 properties scattered around the UK and the USA. So, you know, but obviously, like I said, I did everything badly. But if I did everything correctly, that would have been 30 different properties giving me an income at the same time. That's multiple streams of income. So that's a good thing about real estate. If you do it well, you know, with multi-units, you know, multi-lets, all that. I mean, for example, Jack now, if you watch that video, he deals with thousands of units. The sort of units he manages, and he deals with his thousands of units. So you can imagine the sort of income streams coming from all those units at the same time. Same with real estate. Same with the financial markets. You know, you have, that's why I like, especially long-term investing, because I think for those who've been on the course, the investing course, you've seen my portfolio or part of my portfolio, you see all the companies I've invested in getting dividend payment from all of them, even the ones in Nigeria to pay me dividends. So again, those are multiple streams of income where I don't have to do anything. And it's same with, funny enough, it's same with the farming too. That's why I love farming, because the main asset, also the main capital investment is buying the land. But once you bought the land, that's it. You know, for example, with the goats, you know, with the goats, you can sell the meat, you can sell the skin for leather, you can sell the feces for manure, you can sell the urine, everything about it. Anyway, so you want to look for businesses that can generate you multiple streams of income. So that's M. O is outstanding. You want to, whatever you do, you want to make sure you're a bit unique in a unique product or unique service or information. And again, you don't want to get stuck in between price and quality. So you're either going to be the cheapest or you're going to be the best. If you're not going to be the best, then make sure you're the cheapest. But if you're neither, if you're not the cheapest and you're not the best, then you're going to struggle. So you want to be outstanding. So again, that's why again, this is where we talk about partnerships. So again, you're making sure you partner with the right people. Even like I said, with this agribusiness we've started, partnering with the right people here in Rwanda who know the stuff, who are the best in their field. So we make sure, I mean, our goal is to be, you know, produce the best coffee, the best soya, the best quality goats on our farm. So right from our preparation of the soil to the drip irrigation to the way we prepare the soil, the seed, we're making sure we pay attention to every detail so that when we start to harvest, you know, our product won't just be mediocre. I want to make sure it's outstanding. N is for nothing down. Lots of money leads to poor choices. Again, I found that out myself. So again, this is where again partnership comes in. If you partner with the right people, actually, let me go back to that. Actually, I was going to bring that up when I was talking to Marlon, but it skipped my mind. Because let's say this is a business. Okay. So the question is, what are you bringing to the table? Okay, that's the key. For this business, what are you bringing to the table? What are you contributing to this business? What is your contribution? Again, this is not charity. This is not emotional. You have to be bringing something to the table. But the key, that doesn't have to be money. You have to bring something. So let's say this is 100% partnership in this business. It's 100% partnership. So for you to have a partnership in this business, you need to bring something to the table. So it could be money. It could be your time. It could be your expertise. But you need to bring something to the table. But the key is that it doesn't have to be money. But you have to bring something to the table. So for example, this coffee business we're doing, 5%, we gave 5% shareholding to a guy in Rwanda because he's a coffee expert. So that's what he's bringing, his expertise. There's another guy we gave 5% because he's giving us his time. He's the one helping us find the land, recruit the headers, recruit the farmers, recruit the laborers. So he's putting his time there. So we gave him 5%. This one is putting his expertise, gave him 5%. So you don't have to be the money person. Yeah, my brother and I are the ones putting in the money, but you have to bring something to the table. So that's where, again, with the real estate, if you use the same example, you might be the one bringing the time and the expertise to say, okay, you are the one that is going to find the deal. So you are the one that will now go and find that good real estate deal like we've just discussed. So that will be your own task. And then somebody else will bring the money. So your own task is to go and do what we are saying, go to the estate agent, go and view the property, do the negotiation. And again, it's a numbers game. That's another thing. Actually, this is where wealth psychology comes into play. Because yeah, you have to be willing to work hard. You might, I think I viewed hundreds of properties. I know everybody says yes. Most of them say no. Some of them get lost. You have to be willing to take a rejection. So not every house you go, they will say yes and give you a deal straight away. No. So you have to put in that time. But that will be your equity, because the person with the money, that's what they're bringing. So they won't do any work. They are happy to invest in you and give you the money because they are not going to be running up and down the place. Because you might view like 30, 40 properties before you get one yes. But that is what your equity is you finding that deal, finding the right deal, then somebody will come and partner with you with the money. But yes, like I said, if you don't find the right deal, then nobody will partner with you. But you have to bring something to the table. You have to bring something to the table. But it doesn't have to be money. So that's why I'm saying, yeah, nothing down. So sometimes you can get into very good businesses without putting a penny down. And if you don't put in a penny, that's good, because that means, once you start making money, you're already making a profit. But you have to put something in there. E is for employee resistance. You want to outsource. Employee resistant. In fact, that's why I love this monetary formula. Again, like I told you guys, I'm an introvert. I don't like interacting with people unnecessarily. You know, just my close family and friends. I just don't like to get involved with hiring, firing people, disciplinary, you know, oh, can't be bothered with that. To the point where, in fact, that's another thing about partnerships, because if I go back to show you the website of the two companies I have in Rwanda, you can see Alex, he deals with all that. So he doesn't put in any financial, there's no financial input to him in the company. It's just, he's the one that deals with the employees. And even he tends to outsource it. So both for the farm and our wealth management business, he's the one that deals with, you know, like I told you earlier, he's the one that will get the headers, the vet, the farmers. In fact, we've just set up a standing order to be paying him monthly to just pay all those people, and I can't be bothered. So I don't have to deal with them. And most of them, like I said, in fact, the only people that we really employ on a regular basis is the vet and the headers. Other than that, you know, I don't deal with secretaries, administrators, blah, blah, blah. My office is in my home. Where I'm talking to you guys now is my office. So I don't have, you know, people hanging around me. So I am employee resistant. You must be making me money, just not hiring you just for the heck of it. I can drive myself. I can do my own paperwork. Of course, yeah, obviously I have an accountant, so I don't file my taxes myself. So I actually have an accountant in Nigeria and an accountant in Rwanda. So yes, you need, and you know, for legal papers, I have a lawyer. So yeah, obviously for professional services, I have an accountant, I have a lawyer. But other than that, you know, I'm an employee resistant. Y is for high yield businesses. You're looking for businesses that are cash cows. Again, that's actually why I love the agricultural business, because for every dollar you spend, you make like $4 or $5 for every dollar you spend. And like I said, you know, the land is not going anywhere. So you can just keep making money off it and just churning it out, cash cows. Trend and timing is T. Obviously, you want to make sure you're going with the times, the trend, in terms of whatever product or service you're providing. There's a need for it. You know, I always use the example of blockbusters. I can't get over blockbusters because obviously I grew up during the blockbuster age, and how they did not see the trend in terms of streaming and the internet, and they were slow. And now they're out of business with Netflix and all that. So you need to be careful. You need to be going with the trend and, you know, the time of the what's happening. R is residual income. So you want a business that's going to give you residual passive income. You don't want someone that, like I said, requires your presence. I mean, that again, that's a big thing for me. If it's something that's going to require too much of my involvement, that puts me off. Again, that's why I like the agribusiness, because I'm not the one tilling the land. I'm not the one digging. I'm not the one watching over them. We have an agronomist and a farm manager for that. Yes, I might pop in there now and again, but by and large, if I have to travel, if I have to do other things, I can do other things. I can travel. I don't have to be there, and I just get the passive income. So you want, you know, businesses that will, you know, just be giving you a residual income and not get into buying yourself a job. And you want something that's essential to everyone every day. You're looking for, you know, what do people want? What do people use? What do people need on a regular basis? So you're looking for something that's essential to everyone every day. And in fact, that is why we chose carefully what we put on the farm or what we're growing off on the farm. We're growing, you know, we chose to do things that are in extremely high demand, whereby even what we're doing is not even going to meet the demand. It's quite, you know, so that's what you're looking for. Enthusiasm, you have to have a passion for what you're doing. That's very important. Like I said, I'm an introvert, so there's no way you'll find me doing, I'm being in the entertainment business or being in the event management business, you know, where I have to be the life of the party and, you know, shouting and, you know, mixing with strangers anyhow. No, that's just not me. So I can't be in, there's certain things I just can't do, no matter how lucrative it is, no matter how much people are making it. It's just not for me. I will have no passion and no enthusiasm for it whatsoever. So you really have to, again, like I said at the beginning, my drive is not the money. My drive is enjoying what I do, relationships with people. In fact, that's one of the big things I love about the agribusiness is because of the community development aspect of what we're doing. We're trying to develop the community where we're doing our agribusiness and see if we can use that as a focal point to turn the village around and turn the people around there and empower them. So you need to be enthusiastic about what you're doing. Don't just do it because of the money. Yeah, I mean, you get frustrated because, again, like I said, with the real estate, there's hard work involved. Whatever business you decide to do, the initial stage is going to be a lot of hard work, a lot of research, a lot of doing stuff. Again, like I said, I just started this business in December, not long ago. So I'm new at agriculture. I'm learning a lot. But because I have a passion for it and I enjoy it, I don't see it as work. I actually enjoy meeting people in the agribusiness. I enjoy learning about agriculture. I enjoy learning about what to do. It's fun. But yes, if I had to do something that is totally against my nature and I have no interest in, I won't last long. So you have to be enthusiastic about what you're doing. So that's the monetary formula. So like I showed you already, but I'll show you again as we wrap up. Always remember, you can't make a good deal with a bad person. Okay, so again, you know, don't be blinded by money and don't be too quick to just partner with anybody just because they have money. It could end up badly. So always remember that you can't make a good deal with a bad person. So for me, like I said, it's relationships first. And if I have a good relationship with the person and we can do business, then that's just a cherry on top. But it has to be. So that's why I said earlier, all the people I do business with now are actually my friends, not just business partners. They're my friends. If I cannot consider you a friend, I would not be doing business with you. Even if you have $1 million or even $1 billion, you know, I haven't got time to be arguing, fighting with you about money. So always remember that. You can't make a good deal with a bad person. Oh yeah, that's on course next week. All right, that's it. Any questions? If you have any questions, you can either raise your hand or send your question through the chat box. And if there are no questions, I will let you all go to bed. Any questions, comments, words of wisdom? Hello, Elizabeth.
Doc, me again. Hello.
Yes, you're welcome.
Right. This is a question that I don't know if it's here. I should be asking it. It's about the financial market trading.
Okay. Yeah.
So what's option trading? So the reason I'm asking is, okay, obviously we did the trading course and we're doing Forex and all that. I've got this American friend. Yeah. And we're chatting and she said to me, oh, she's doing options. I was like, I don't know. I tried going on YouTube, but it's confusing me. So I'm not sure. Is it the same as the day trading, swing trading? What exactly is it?
Okay, options trading is a very complicated way of trading. It's actually good. I used to love options trading. I used to trade options a lot when I was in the UK. I only stopped when I moved back to Nigeria. But let me try and say, I had a blog when I was in UK, Enlightened Wealth Creation Blogspot. I hope it's still there. Oh yeah, still there.
Okay.
Let's see if options trading is there. Did I put options trading? Oh, I didn't put options trading. Oh, well, let me see. Let's see if there's anywhere else I can find it. Yeah, because options trading is not something I can explain in 5 minutes. But let me see if I can. Oh, actually, let me put this in the chat box for you all. This is a blog I had when I was based in the UK. But what I want to put it here, I had a friend of mine who makes a lot of money from internet marketing to talk to them. I used to do that a lot when I was in the UK. I just don't have the time now. But he did a webinar. Then I got him to speak to people like you then when I was in the UK on 5 steps to internet income. That was my accountant then in the UK talking about efficient tax planning, wills and trusts. Okay, this is the discounted mortgages I was talking to you guys about with Jack. You can see that's 2010. That was 11 years ago. This is a long time ago. So Jack spoke then about discounted mortgages. Gosh, time flies. 10 years, 11 years ago. Okay, I'll let me put this in the chat box for you guys. So you can watch that from 11 years ago, but obviously be careful. You can see that's 11 years ago, so some of the information there might be outdated. So that's a caveat. Let me see the other blog, YouTube channel I had. Let me see if it's there. Because I used to do a lot of seminars on options trading then. DKB markets, DKB markets. DKB markets. So let's see. So this was when I was in Nigeria. This was what we were running then. You can see some of the videos from some of the seminars I did in Lagos. But let me see. Oh, that's a video from my lecture at Cass Business School.
Okay.
Yeah. You're taking me back into time, Elizabeth. Taking me back into time. So 6 years ago, man. No, there's no options trading there. I can't think of anything else. Where else can I find now? But yeah, unfortunately, I can't think of. But options trading, it's sort of like swing trading or positional trading. But you need to know a lot about, because number one, you need to know what options are. It's a contract. It's basically a contract saying you want to buy, but you don't have an obligation to buy. So it's quite complicated. You need to learn all those terms. What is a call option? What's a put option? You need to understand the Greeks. You need to understand when options expire, what they mean, expiry dates, premiums, how they're charged. But yeah, it's actually a good way to trade, and it can be quite profitable.
Okay, and because like I said to you, when she spoke to me, I was thinking I've not heard it, so I did do a little bit of research about it, but then just got to the end where I'm thinking, I can't be bothered, I'll ask Doc when we speak again, which is not a good attitude, I know. I'll continue my research, but the only thing is because CMC, the platform I'm using, they have a lot of information there and everything. But when I did call them, they said they don't do options. So I was actually looking for platforms as well that actually do options that I can actually read a bit on.
Option Express, that's the one I used to use when I was, if I still have an account with Option Express, I just haven't used
Option Express. And if you're in the UK, you can have an account with them. Well,
I don't know. Oh, they said they're now part of, you see, they've been bought over by Charles Schwab. Because like I said, it's a long time since I had them. But I was based in UK when I had an Option Express account with them. Like I said, I don't do that.
Okay, no worries. Thanks anyway.
No problem. Any other costs? Any other costs? Any other questions? Any other questions? Comments? Okay, if there are no more questions, I wish you all a very good evening. The recording will be posted on the platform in the morning. Once it usually takes a while to process, but I'll probably go and have my dinner, chill out and go to bed. I'll just let it process and upload it in the morning. So the recording of the session will be uploaded in the morning. And like I said, for those who missed the session with Jack, you can watch that too on the platform. But like I said, the key is I think it really boils down to mental attitude, with the willingness to work hard, do what it takes, which is what we covered during the wealth psychology session during the course. It's all in the mind. If you're willing to put in the work, making the sacrifice, do what you need to do your homework, do your research, there are just opportunities out there that you can take advantage of. And most importantly, knowing that you don't have to do it yourself. It's again, if you start to think out of the box, then you can partner with people. Like I said, 100% of zero is zero. 100% of nothing is nothing. So it's better to be 5% of something than 100% of nothing. So I think it's all about attitude and mindset. Okay, have a good evening, everyone. And